Welcome to the deep dive. So you sent us a whole stack of courses on, well, a real giant in kids media, something you probably remember for all the chaos, maybe that very catchy theme song. Today we're cutting through that noise, really digging into the true scale and, frankly, the surprising hidden story behind the Horrid Henry animated TV series.
Yeah, it's way more than just a cartoon, isn't it? It became this massive, long-running, multinational media thing. So our mission today is really to give you the full picture. We'll look at the production, how it all came together, the sheer logistics of it.
Right.
And then we get into the really jaw-dropping part.
Yeah.
What the original author, Francesca Simon, revealed about the financials and, intellectual property.
Yeah, this is a deep dive into how basically a set of popular kids' books blew up into this global 13-year animated phenomenon, and crucially, the massive legal mistake that kind of hangs over all its success.
Okay, so first, just to set the scene, the scale. We're talking a British animated series, obviously based on the books. It ran for an incredibly long time. Kicked off October 30th, 2006, and didn't wrap until May 17th, 2019, all on CITV.
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years. And over that time, they cranked out, get this, 250 episodes.
Oh.
And it's still around, You can stream it on Netflix right now in the UK. That kind of staying power tells you something.
Absolutely. 250 episodes. I mean, that much TV doesn't just happen. It takes huge money, huge planning, often years before anything even airs. So let's unpack that initial investment first.
Right.
The money, the foundation for this whole thing, was actually put down way back in 2001. That's 5 years before the premiere. And the TV rights for the whole book series, they were sold for a very significant £1 million.
Yeah, and you've got to remember, £1 million in 2001 for the non-book rights for a children's series. That was a massive statement.
A huge gamble, almost.
It was a huge bet by Novel Entertainment, the company that bought them. They weren't just thinking about a TV show. They were clearly aiming for a whole media franchise right from the start.
Okay, so they've got the rights, they've spent the cash, then the development clock really starts ticking, right?
Exactly. The public announcement came October 2003. That's when Novel Entertainment confirmed they had the exclusive TV, film, home entertainment rights, the whole package from Orion Children's Books.
And they said straight away they wanted a new animation style, not just copying the books.
Yeah, they singled that early on. They wanted something that would, quote, bring the books to life on screen, which implied a different visual approach.
Right, and that takes time. Animation isn't quick.
No, definitely not for something aiming for quality. So after that announcement, they spent a fair bit of time just developing the concept. By March 2004, we got a bit more info. And crucially, they actually made a little 1-minute pitch pilot.
Ah, the proof of concept.
Exactly. Animated by Peter Dodd, written by Holly Lyons. Just a little taster to show what they were aiming for. Super important step.
So that pilot presumably helped them secure the full series.
Must have done. Because by the time they hit cartoon form in 2004, they were confident enough to announce the first proper commitment. 26 episodes were officially greenlit.
Okay, so it's this long arc, right sale in 01, development, pilot, then the official green light, and finally, March 2006, they confirm it's debuting late that year.
That's the multi-year journey. And this timeline really shows you the kind of structure they had to build. Novel Entertainment, the UK producer, was at the core, obviously. But the scale meant they needed international partners pretty much immediately.
Right, you mentioned distribution.
Yeah, Nelvana, the Canadian company, they handled international distribution for the first series up until 2008. So those global ambitions, they were baked in from day one.
And running that kind of complex operation needs strong leadership. Who are the key people keeping it on track?
Well, we know Lucinda Whiteley was the producer, and Dave Unwin was the animation director.
Yeah.
They were essentially the architects of this global production machine that somehow kept going for over a decade and churned out that massive library.
Okay, so that moves us from the deals and the structure to the actual making of the show, the look and feel. You mentioned they wanted a new animation style. That's key because, the show looks different from Tony Ross's original illustrations, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, very distinct style. And creating that style and then replicating it consistently across 250 episodes, well, that required a really complex multinational production setup.
Okay, so where was the actual animation happening?
It's interesting. The main bulk of the animation work, that was done in China.
Right. Common for volume.
Yeah, for cost and scale. But what's also interesting is that additional animation work was completed in Hungary.
Hungary, okay, so spreading it out, why those places specifically?
Well, efficiency, cost control, finding the right studios with the capacity. But the process itself is kind of revealing about animation back then, mid-2000s. They weren't doing purely digital drawing from scratch. They were actually using traditional hand-drawn animation.
Really? Actual drawings?
Yeah, physical drawings on paper, which were then scanned into a computer to be colored and put together digitally.
Ah, okay, so a hybrid approach.
Exactly. That kind of workflow draw traditionally, then scan and finish digitally, was probably crucial. It let them use studios across, Asia and Eastern Europe, but still maintain a consistent look and quality control. Keep that classic 2D British cartoon feel.
It sounds like a global assembly line, but for cartoons. Almost like manufacturing nostalgia at scale.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And you can't talk about the show's identity without the sound, especially the music.
Oh, absolutely. The theme songs alone.
Right. Instantly recognizable. So the general background music, the incidental stuff, was composed by Lester Barnes. Then you had extra songs from a company called Lockdown Media. But yeah, the theme songs are iconic. He's got Na 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 by Tim Laws.
Yeah.
And of course the main one, I'm Horrid Henry by Matthew Corbett. Those tunes just lock the brand into your brain.
They really do. Okay, so the animation was this big global effort, but the voice casting, that seems like the opposite, almost surprisingly efficient.
Oh, incredibly efficient. When you actually look at who voiced who, it's kind of amazing how few actors covered so many characters.
It really speaks to their talent, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and how they maximize that talent. Lizzie Waterworth-Santo, obviously, she's the voice of Horrid Henry himself, plus some others. But the workload on the supporting cast is staggering.
Give us an example.
Okay, take Emma Tate. She voices Perfect Peter.
The total opposite of Henry.
Exactly. But she also voices Spotless Sam, Lazy Linda, Miss Oddbod, Madame Tutu, and a bunch of other incidental roles.
Wait, Peter and Linda, that's incredible range. One actor jumping between those personalities.
Without you ever really noticing it's the same person.
Yeah.
It's vocal gymnastics.
Seriously.
And it doesn't stop there. Sue Elliott-Nichols. She voices Moody Margaret.
Another key character.
Plus Mum in one episode.
Yeah.
Anxious Andrew, Weepy William, Greasy Greta. Like 8 other named characters. It's a masterclass in creating a whole world with a really tight group.
Wow. And the dads?
Wayne Forrester, voice dad, is called Simon in the show, plus Aerobic Al and 4 other characters too.
So the takeaway is, huge global animation team, tiny, super talented voice cast. It really hammers home that this was run efficiently. A tight ship where a few key people did enormous amounts of work across those 250 episodes.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've built the picture. 250 episodes, that massive initial investment, 13 years on air, this complex global production machine. But all of that success, ultimately, it flows from the books, from the creative mind of Francesca Simon. And this is where the story takes a really sharp turn, doesn't it? It exposes this critical financial problem right at the heart of it all. This is where it gets really interesting, like you said.
It really does. And we have to talk about something called subsidiary rights here because it's absolutely central to what happened.
Okay, subsidiary rights. Break that down.
Think of it like this. The original books are the tree trunk. Subsidiary rights are all the valuable things that can grow from that trunk. The TV show, any movies, the toys, the games, international deals. All that stuff that isn't the book itself.
Got it. The rights to adapt the IP, basically.
Exactly. And here's the bombshell. In July 2015, Francesca Simon went public. She revealed that despite the show being this huge global hit running for years, she had never been paid any royalties or any ongoing income for the TV show, or for any of the other Horrid Henry projects made by Novel Entertainment.
Hold on, wait. Zero ongoing money from a 250-episode global hit based entirely on her creation.
Zero ongoing income from those adaptations.
That sounds impossible. How does that even happen in modern media?
It is genuinely shocking, and according to Simon herself, the blame lay squarely with her original publisher, Orion Children's Books.
Yeah.
She said they failed to use proper legal advice. Specifically, they didn't use a lawyer when they sold all the non-book rights, the subsidiary rights we talked about, to Novel back in that original 2001 deal.
So that £1 million, that wasn't an advance against future royalties. That was just it. A one-time payment for everything, forever.
That appears to be the situation.
Oh.
A one-off lump sum. She called it, and this is a direct quote, the worst mistake I ever made.
Wow.
She put it down to just not understanding back in 2001 what those subsidiary rights were truly worth long term. And obviously the enormous success of the show just threw that initial oversight into really sharp relief.
That completely changes how you see the show's success story. You've got this massive media engine generating revenue for years, all built on her ideas. But because of a legal error, like 15 years earlier, she saw no continuous financial benefit from its success at all.
Yeah, a profound disconnect is putting it mildly.
And it wasn't just about the money, although that's obviously huge. She also expressed, let's say, creative distance from the show.
Right. You mentioned she wasn't a fan.
Yeah, in August 2019, she was doing a Q&A at the Edinburgh International Book Festival, and she said quite plainly that she did not like the television show.
Why not?
She felt it had just strayed too far from her original books, changed the tone, the content too much.
Okay, so let's piece this together. We have the creator. She watches her characters become this global TV hit.
Right.
In an adaptation she doesn't actually like creatively. And she's completely cut off from any of the financial rewards because of how the rights were handled right at the very beginning.
That's the crux of it. It's a huge example of just how critical those initial contracts and rights agreements really are. So, to wrap this all up for you, our listener, the story of the Horrid Henry TV show. It's really complex. It's this mix of incredible production achievement and, well, deep creative and financial disappointment for the original creator.
Yeah. On one side, it's like a masterclass in production efficiency. 250 episodes, that complex global animation system using China and Hungary, that tiny, super talented voice cast.
Right.
And that big upfront investment paying off with years of international broadcast. Real success by many measures.
All of that success was built on a legal deal that, as the creator herself says, completely cut her out of the long-term financial picture and led to a show she didn't even endorse creatively.
Exactly.
It takes what looks like a fun, maybe slightly annoying kids show and turns it into this really important, almost cautionary tale about publishing, adaptation, and the massive, often underestimated value of owning your IP.
And maybe if we pull back for a final thought, it raises a really interesting question for you to chew on. You know, the show needed the books, right? Its success relied entirely on the characters and world Francesca Simon had already built and made popular.
Absolutely.
So, what's the real long-term value proposition here? Is it better to secure all those IP rights up front with a big payout, even if it alienates the creator? Or is there more value in maintaining that relationship, keeping the creator involved, maybe sharing in the ongoing success through royalties? Even if it means less control for the production company. That tension between the big one-time rights purchase versus ongoing royalties and creative partnership, that's something creators and media companies are still wrestling with constantly. Definitely something for you to mull over.
Absolutely fascinating and, yeah, kind of heartbreaking too, in a way. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.